Check, check, check. Back in the building, back in the place to be. You
Mm.
already know what time it is. I go by the name of Zoosh, aka Guyver.
Hey, it's your boy Juicy Freckles, aka Mr. 767. Ladies and gentlemen, your boys are back in the building.
Screen Runners, you get me? We're
Running.
here.
We're here.
Already know. Run to the screens just to get off this
Right.
news and reviews for you, man. You already know what time it is, man. We are here. People, make sure you do all the good stuff like and comment and subscribe, because we're just trying to turn a hobby into a side hustle, into a real profession. You know what?
You get
That's what
it.
we're
You
trying to
get
do.
it.
That's what we're
What we're
trying
trying
to
to do,
do.
man, the right legal way, yeah? Help
Yeah.
us to be legal rich
To then
breadwinners.
help you. I mean, we gotta give back though. Give back. Help
Of
us
course.
help
No,
you.
we are.
Help
We're giving
us.
back
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. We're letting
Well,
people
yeah,
know
yeah,
what
that's what I'm saying.
going on, and you know what I'm saying? We're doing that right
Yeah.
now.
Not
We're
no
just asking for a little
foolishness.
bit in return. Just a little something, something in return.
Little
Yeah,
piece, little piece, little
yeah,
piece.
yeah, yeah.
Drizzy, my guy, man, how you been? What's good?
I've been great, sir. Life is good. Life is fabulous. Could be better, but it also could be worse. So we give thanks to to the Most High. That's all I got for you today, sir. Because I just wanna get this thing crack a lacking.
Want to get
But
straight to the point.
I'm not a rude person, so I obviously have to ask you,
I hear
my
you. I hear you.
brother in
But I
arms with the
mean,
TV thing. How you doing, sir?
I'm well. I'm well. I mean, the last week or so has been very adventurous, but I feel like we can
Nice.
get to that another time,
Okay,
because
Indiana
I feel
Jones. I
like
hear
we're
you.
here. I hear we're here for a mission. We're here for something special today, and I feel like we just want to get straight to it. Like, want to get
Right.
straight to it.
That's
We
it.
only got a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
and why waste it talking foolishness when we can talk about the goal? But anyway,
The,
let's get just straight to it, man. Let's just get straight to it. People, of course, we are talking about the B and Eddie, Eddie Murphy doc. New on Netflix, new documentaries on your streaming right now.
right now.
It's called B and Eddie, like I said,
Simple.
and this is like a behind the scenes, like a
Yeah.
little behind the scenes, a reminder, a trip down memory lane of why Eddie Murphy is that guy. That's all I'm gonna say right now. Yeah. So where do we start with this? Where do we start? I mean, we just done Charlie Sheen's documentary, yeah? And I'm not going to compare the two, but I feel
Right.
like you can kind of compare the two.
Yes.
Just in terms of,
Same demographic that documentary wise.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a couple people that would watch Eddie really don't mess
No,
with
for
Charlie
sure.
Sheen
But if
like that.
you're a fan of documentaries, regardless of who it is, then
Then
it's the
both
same.
would be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
roughly around the same times. Now, two different
Yep,
characters, but
for
roughly
sure.
around the same times.
Yep.
Both iconic in their own rights. So I wouldn't say they're the same, but we're coming out of the Charlie Sheen documentary that Netflix done.
Mhm.
So you kind of already had a vision of what this could be like, and what kind of lane they could go down. Obviously it would be a different story,
Yeah.
but I was thinking, okay, possible 3-part documentary. Yeah, me.
So let's
Which it
let's
wasn't.
let's not jump into the cons. Let's not jump into the cons. Let's
No,
keep it
I'm not.
positive. I want to keep it.
Okay,
I
okay,
want to try. I want to try my best to keep it positive.
okay. Well, all right. We'll talk about our likes first. Cool. We'll like step in. You hear me? I didn't even think that was a con like that. You hear me? But cool, cool. You hear me? We're just going easy, nice. We'll talk about the likes first. All right. So Eddie Murphy doc. I thought one of the good things about this doc straight off the bat is he seems to have a lot of involvement. Like, it's
Mm.
not a documentary about him. No one else is
Yeah.
narrating and
Yeah.
telling you the story about Eddie Murphy. Like,
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy is there, front and center, camera, and he's telling you his story. And as we're getting a rundown from the beginning to current times, like, it's just all him.
Yeah.
And
Agree.
I think
Agree.
I love that about
That's a
documentaries,
big pro.
especially, yeah, especially if you're going to talk about someone, especially if they're living, like,
Yeah.
let me hear from them. You hear me? Don't
Exactly.
fabricate no stupidness. Because I say that to say quite quickly, like, there was someone that was saying something about a film,
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
and it was like a journalist, and he was saying, "Oh, this is why Eddie Murphy laughed," and boom, 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 and then it quickly goes to a next scene, and Eddie Murphy was like, "Yeah,
No.
they always
Yeah.
used to say some story, and that's cap. That weren't why I was laughing. You get me?" And it's like you need shit like that so it don't get, you know what I'm saying?
Although that would have been nice if he had opted not to answer it, because I always was like, "Rah, was he full breaking there for a minute?" I think if he didn't answer it, like, "So Eddie, did you what actually?" He's like, you know what? Let me just leave that to your own devices." But fair play.
No, I prefer the
Um,
answered it, man.
yeah,
I
okay,
prefer
fair
it's
enough.
like because I love the way they even cut the scenes like
Yeah,
that. It
yeah,
was
yeah.
like,
That
nah, he
was
shut
good.
it down quick because he
Yeah,
even mentioned that, like, yeah, I always just heard this like myth that this is why I was laughing. It's like, no, I wasn't laughing at me. You get me? It's like because he still was kind of breaking the fourth wall.
yeah,
You
yeah.
get me? It still
You know
was
what?
kind of
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
the same,
yeah.
but I preferred he did that.
It's what else I liked about this was the fact that you had I believe there was a long list of people begging to be in this documentary and they didn't even make the cut because
Yeah,
it's a
yeah, yeah,
who's
yeah,
who,
yeah.
man. It's a who's who. Like anyone you
Well,
rate
it's everybody.
in this documentary, yeah, it's in this documentary. Um,
Yep.
the biggest this is kind of like a double-edged sword there, but the biggest miss from this documentary, but I do believe it's also a pro because it allowed Eddie to speak on his behalf, was it would have been like they had little Charlie Murphy bits in there, which I like,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
I also like the fact that Eddie did speak on behalf of his brother in regards to like I miss
yeah,
my brother and that whole storyline was cool, like explanation that. So yeah, I did like that, man. Yeah,
yeah. That
yeah,
was dope.
yeah, yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Um, Another thing, as we started with, this was a trip down memory lane.
Ooh,
And listen, if
ooh,
there was any doubts
no.
in in um in the last 10-year run, maybe last 5 to 10 year run, because Eddie, you get me, he's had a few. You get me? We're not going to the cons yet. I'm just saying, if there was any doubt in your mind that Eddie
Is him.
weren't that guy, he
Yeah.
weren't. Yeah, if Eddie weren't him, like, yo, this
Zush,
was
correct me if
this
I'm
was a
wrong.
reminder.
Yeah.
Gone.
Go ahead. Sorry. Okay.
No, I'm
Correct me if
saying
I'm
this
wrong.
was.
Let me know if I'm stepping out of some bounds here, yeah?
Yeah,
Am I doing too much by saying Eddie Murphy is the equivalent? No, no. He's to comedy what Michael Jackson is to pop music. Am
one
I doing
hundred
too much?
percent. Well, no,
Okay,
you're
okay,
not.
cool. I was
And I feel
make sure. All right.
I feel like this documentary kind of lets you know that, like,
Thank you.
Eddie Murphy to comedy is what Michael Jordan is to like sport. Is what Muhammad Ali is to sport, bro.
Yeah,
Like, I
agree.
feel like this documentary kind of lets you know that, like, when they're talking about the top five black entertainers at that time, like, he's like one of the only ones that's still alive, bro. Like, and kicking. You
That
hear
was
me?
sad. Yeah,
Like, when
yeah,
they
yeah. That
spoke
was
about
that.
him,
Yeah,
Whitney, Prince, Michael Jackson, and I can't
yeah,
remember who the fifth person was. I think it was like Muhammad Ali. But like around that time, like they were the five, they were the stars.
yeah.
Like, no, I don't think it's, and I feel like his last few years, or if you don't really know Eddie, you might think that is the most wildest take ever. You might think that's wild. But this documentary right here lets you know why he is that guy, bro. Like who he was at the time of at the times it was. You get me? In the
Yeah,
in the in
yeah,
the mid 80s, like early 90s, like that's like golden era to the most. You get me? And it's like who he was, what he was able to do in such a short space of time, and still keep who he was. Like I think that was
that
like a
was
big
important.
takeaway.
That was
That was a
important.
massive
Yeah,
takeaway.
yeah, yeah,
When
for
he's
sure,
telling stories about being around Rick James and Robin
bro.
Williams and them man there, and there's this blow everywhere.
Look,
Like just
yo,
and you can only imagine.
nah, bruh, it, yeah, it opened up your eyes to things. Like this guy all he wanted to be was something that replicates his idol, which was Richard Pryor. All he wanted to do was get into
Yeah,
that because of Richard Pryor. And then it got
yeah,
to the point where it's like and this is I'm not even guessing it. He surpassed Richard Pryor 10 times. And that's no disrespect to Richard
yeah,
Pryor,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
No, not at all.
that was his bar, and he jumped past that bar like 10 times. And you start to see like he really was the people you mentioned. One was a boxer, the other three were musicians. This guy was a comedian and he was on par with them. And he literally broke down certain doors that everyone else is still on that gravy train eating from now.
Bro, like
Yeah,
it was rock star status, bro. When he went
absolutely.
into the stand up and he was talking about Delirious
Yeah.
and how that came about and why he wore the leather, like he was on rock, like he
Mm-hmm.
was like, well, it's weird because I guess at them times they really looked at Elvis the way they did, didn't it?
Yep.
But
Yep.
like he really was like Elvis of comedy, and if
Yep.
obviously you know them times Elvis was that guy, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, he was just moving different. Like he was just moving different. And what's interesting is his story could have been like Richard Pryor, you know? Like Richard
Easy.
Pryor
Easy.
probably didn't really get to certain heights because of his lifestyle and because of the drugs and certain things that he done. Like, because that's how we got the Beverly Hills Cop role, innit?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Richard Pryor had lit himself on fire that around that time, innit? So, you know, like, and that was just a mad thing. But obviously
That
that
story
whole
behind
story is crazy,
that
bro.
bothered me, bro.
And then he goes on stage and he goes, you know how much people be freebasing? Like, who, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. And he talks about he's the only person that's ever blown up during freebasing. Like, my man
It's
was just honest
mad,
about his
bro.
comedy. But I'm saying the type of era like Eddie Murphy was in and the things he was around, he could have easily went down that Charlie
Easily.
Murphy,
He might
Richard
have
Pryor,
been there
not
with us
Charlie
today,
Murphy,
bro. Yeah.
Charlie Sheen, Eddie,
Yeah.
Richard Pryor stage, and it's
For
been
sure.
like, yeah, he could have been off the edges, bro. He could have been
Can
off the
we,
edge.
while there's loads of pros to get into it, I don't want to spoil the viewing pleasures for people, but we're a very balanced show here. And I feel like it's only right we get into the cons.
All right, I had a few more. I had one more, but
Yeah, no,
we'll
drop
swing
your one
back.
more. Drop your one more.
But
Drop
nah,
your one.
nah,
I don't
because I feel like
sad. I don't need to be sad what I'm gonna say. So
I
drop your one more.
I feel like one more
Yeah,
thing, and it's
go ahead.
kind of like it was like at the end, and it was like I felt like it was my reassurance that Eddie Murphy still has that magic.
For
Like you
sure.
see what he did,
100%.
you see what he
Yeah.
did with the ventriloquist, the
Yes.
Bill
Yes.
Cosby, Richard
Yeah.
Pryor, and Paul Mooney ventriloquist. You see
Yeah.
that little skit at the end, like towards the end where he pulls them out and he
Yeah.
does their voices and he just gets straight to the jokes with Bill Cosby. Like that let me know,
Yeah.
yeah, if there was any doubts
Any
in your
doubts?
mind that Eddie Murphy didn't still have that magic, like, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, man. Eddie Murphy
No,
is
no,
that
I
guy to me.
respect him, man.
What are
That
you
was a
gonna say that's gonna try and deflate my Eddie Murphy inflatable train right now?
all right. You know what, bro? With everything that we've just said and all that, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was disappointed, bro.
What was you disappointed in, Drizzy?
I was disappointed in this documentary, bro. Like I just feel like, and I'm not here to compare the two, but the way they did the Charlie Sheen one, I'm
It was
like,
so
well,
much
if you
more.
do this with Charlie Sheen, this one here should have at least how many parts was Charlie Sheen? 3?
3 parts, 3 hour and
This,
a half parts about that.
bro, this
This was
should
about an hour and 40.
brother. What are we doing? What are we
Yeah, I
doing?
was vexed. I was
What are we
vexed.
doing, bro?
I
We
was
don't get
vexed.
to
I
see
was
Eddie
vexed.
like we used to see, and we only saw Eddie through movies, our era. Now we're getting a Bean Eddie. In my head, I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be like an 8-part Eddie thing,
Yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah,
like 45 minutes a piece, because
yeah.
his stand-up from his early days alone could be a part 1. Then part 2 could easily be when he started to get noticed with SNL and that. That was his whole thing. And there's just certain things that like, bro, this guy was in studios with Rick James and hanging out with he's got a music video of Michael Jackson. They did not touch on that once in this thing, brother. What are we doing?
Bro, bro. Bro,
Nah, man.
you get more from Eddie in the Chappelle show from the Charlie Murphy stories. Like
Brother.
I know more about Eddie from that. Like I was vexed
No.
when I saw that it was only an hour and 40 minutes, bro. I said, what's going on here? I said, do you know how much more they could have done with this? Like
Bro.
exactly what you said in terms of like the stand-up. Alone, like the behind the scenes, how you came about that,
Bro.
like some of the backlash from the jokes, if there was, like, there was so much more you could have dug deep in, like, pause, like, that they just didn't touch at all. Even like when they're talking about the films, bro, Nutty Professor alone, yeah, should be like half an hour. Like you can spend half an hour alone breaking down how Nutty Professor even came about from like the Jerry Lewis original, like that whole classic, you playing the characters. They literally just summarized this whole documentary. They summarized this whole life, basically. It was
Yo,
like a summary of SNL. It
I'm
was a
sorry, my
summary
brother.
of the movies. No, I'm vexed with you, bro. I was just holding it in. But you brought the demon out, bro. You brought the demon out, my guy. Like, I
Sorry,
was vexed too. I
yo,
was just giving that little praise because it
we're
was
going another
Eddie.
5 minutes. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
paid a
nah.
penalty. We're going overtime. Another 5, bro.
I was vexed too. I
How,
was vexed too.
how, Delirious and Raw. A lot of the best creme de la creme comedians that we have right now all
Bro, to this
reference
day.
one of them two. I was like,
To
yo, I
this
saw
day.
that, and that made, bro, we should have had a part. I don't know if it's going to be a 4 or 5 regarding the timeline, or 3, where it was specifically about Raw and Delirious.
Bro.
Like, bro, that should have been those
Alone.
two. You could combine them
Alone.
as one episode alone. Then we get into the movie stuff. That, bro, at one point, he was Will Smith before Will Smith. You put Eddie's name on the poster.
And
People,
it was
bro,
selling, bro. It was a sell-off, bro. Sell-off. It's like, how do we get there? The lifestyle around that. And like I said, it was literally just a summary of certain points in his life. So it was like, oh, a summary of his stand-up comedy, a summary of his time at the SNL. And like, it didn't really go into no detail whatsoever. I at least thought, and I know he's a private man. But the fact that they did it in his home and they were showing like the fam, I thought we was going to get a little bit more from that even. Like we'd even get like his family didn't even really speak about him or speak on him. And I'm not really too mad because they never really have. You never really heard much
now
about
for real,
like
I don't
Eddie's,
mind. I don't mind about
and I
that.
respect that about him, man.
Yeah,
And I
that's
respect that.
yeah.
But like there was nothing that you got that you didn't really like. He was just clarifying a lot of stuff, which was dope because you never even really got that before. And like Eddie Murphy to this day now is just like a dope storyteller. Like he just tells stories, like his confidence, the way he talks, like his tone of voice, like it's just all sick. But there's no way from flipping Trading Places to changing the game at Trading Places to dominating the game as an animated donkey that you summed that up in an hour and 40 minutes. Don't give to me shit, bro. Don't give to me shit. Don't give to me shit, bro.
Has his own Funko Pop.
Don't give to me shit, bro.
As his own Funko Pop. This is the opening scene of Trading Places, bro. What are we doing? Yo, how am I hearing he was meant to be in Ghostbusters originally, and they don't speak about this in this documentary? Like he was meant to be Ghostbusters, and instead he opted to do Beverly Hills Cop, bro. Beverly Hills Cop is like the template for action comedy cop.
Buddy cop movies. It's like the template for buddy cop. Or
And I want
you
to
know
hear
what?
from him, like, yo,
Bro.
how did you feel about the third Beverly Hills Cop movie? And then bringing Axel F, the fourth one, was like, yo, did you want to do the fourth one to try and do good because of what happened with the third one? Yo, I need to know.
Do you think that was his choice? Do you think because he had like a lot of control and Eddie's still quite private? But you know why? You know why I don't think it was? You know why I just think they done a terrible job on it? Because it wasn't like he weren't answering questions. It wasn't like he wasn't talking about like Studio 22 times or Studio 4 times. It wasn't like we weren't talking about that. And it's like, so yeah, I can't imagine it was his choice not to go into more detail. Like, because he brought up things they probably didn't even ask him. Like when he spoke about the whole Robin Williams thing and he was there and he's like, yo, I'm with 2 of my heroes and they just got blow on the table. It was like, no one asked you about that. You hear me? You were just talking about a good time. You hear me? So it's like, yeah, I feel like they dropped the ball big time on this doc.
It's on Netflix. Netflix, this guy starting one of your biggest pieces of content for 2024 in Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. How was that not covered in this documentary? You should have had all the behind the scenes stuff in the can as well. Like, bro, like, nah, this should have been a 10-part thing, brother. This should have taken us from now until flipping Christmas. This should have been a 10-part doc.
Bro,
Eddie Murphy is the Michael Jackson, the comedy. And we got an hour.
Bro, the comedians alone. the comedians alone, like we're talking about of two of the other biggest comedians that we have, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, how they came like underneath Eddie Murphy and like their whole connection and how like bro, I didn't even really know the Chris Rock story and how he was there on the Raw days and whatever. And you know how much stories he must have just alone on that. Like Dave Chappelle being like the super underdog in Nutty Professor. Like the fact that they touched the fact that he said before him, because like before him it was Sidney Poitier, then it was Richard Pryor, and then
Yeah,
it was Eddie, and then
yeah.
after him the floodgates
Everyone can
opened.
flip.
And when
Yeah,
he said floodgates, and he mentioned man like Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington, Lawrence, bro, the fact that he set pace for these guys to now be who they are, bro. Like, you can't sum that up in an hour and 40 minutes, bro. You can't sum that up in an hour and 40 minutes.
bro.
Like, you're taking the piss out of me,
I
bro.
was so
You're
pissed
taking the
off
piss out
about
of
it
me.
because I'm like, yo, him being multiple characters alone. Yo, Jamie Foxx said, "How did this guy not win an Oscar for Nutty Professor?" Now, cool. Yeah, you might be like, why would he win an Oscar for Nutty Professor, bruh? If that's the case, he should have got one for Coming to America. Like,
Yeah.
how are we?
Well, they did kind of touch because there was that
Yeah, that's
one
true.
time he said what he said,
Yeah,
and you know how it was. That
but
was
like
early times. But,
these Coming to
yeah.
America was such a bro. I always say, yeah, Coming to America was the OG Black Panther before we got Black Panther. Yeah,
Yeah,
because Black
yeah,
Panther's got
yeah.
more
That was
action in it.
iconic, bro.
It's
Bro,
such
that
an
was an
iconic
iconic
role.
film.
That
And
yeah,
like you said, that together with the Michael Jackson video, bro, alone would have been another episode that you could have just stayed on and done some deeper meanings to
yo,
how
but
we
Zook,
even got to that. Him
how many
directing, Boomerang, like, bruh,
How many
bruh,
Dons?
bruh,
Okay, outside of Jim Carrey, whose face he could do a lot of his face. How many people stand up when you hear when you believe
no
this
one.
counts to you can say, "Oh, I played like 6 characters in the same movie and I was starring in it as well." There's nobody. Nutty
Can't be done, man.
Professor and
It can't be done.
um Nutty
Can't be done.
Professor and what's the other one of Coming to America? We should have had a special look at those two films. How did you decide to come up with the concept of starring in a film but then playing these multiple
Crazy,
characters? Nothing, brother. And I
bruh.
love this
Yeah.
documentary, but that, bro,
Yeah, that's the worst thing. The documentary is dope. Like I love this. This was a great documentary. Like they touched on a nice few points. Like I said, they summarized a nice few points. Like the tone of it, like him being so involved in it. Like the documentary was sick. Like I put it in high regards, but boy, did they not do
bro,
enough from this,
Arsenio
bro.
Hall.
This was
This should have been a whole episode about
this was
Eddie and
crazy.
Arsenio Hall working together, bro. From Coming to America to Harlem Nights to Coming to America 2 to
Like,
bro.
cause
How
we're never gonna get this. We're never gonna get this again. Like we're never gonna get this again.
you
Like
got one
so,
chance
how
to
you
do it
just
properly,
didn't.
Netflix. You should have got
I'm not gonna lie.
HBO to do it,
HBO.
man. Yeah, get
Yeah, I was
HBO.
about to say HBO. Yeah, HBO.
Yo,
Hold on, HBO.
HBO would have given us a 10-part, bro. HBO
Hold
would
on.
have given us a 10-part.
We can
Bro,
still
I need to know
even
how Eddie was feeling when he was on top. Bro, they made a joke about Eddie. Hey, kids, do you want to make a wish? Wish on a falling star. He said, I was like, what the?
I was hurt,
I was
bro,
hurt.
and that
I
was
wanted
it,
more of that because he
bro.
was lukewarm out here.
Bro, they didn't talk about his fall off at all. And let's be real, the fall off when he started to do like Meet Dave and he was playing the spaceship and all them foolishness films, bro. They like let's talk about it.
And
And that's the one thing I say that the Charlie Sheen doc had on top of this, man. Like it had detail. It went deep into some dark times. Even though Charlie Sheen had a lot of dark times, Eddie, of course, and must have had some dark times.
yeah, but
You get me?
he had career lows. Eddie had like Charlie
Yes,
had
exactly.
personal drug related lows. Eddie's was career wise, and it's like, yo,
Yeah.
then we don't talk about what's that film he was in the other day, bro?
The
Damn,
pickup.
no, please, Jesus Christ, nah. I almost reviewed that and I was like, I'm not wasting people's time. The one before that where he was not like a pimp. He wasn't a pimp, but he was
Dolomite.
brother.
Dolomite.
How did we
Bro,
not?
Dolomite's the name. Bro,
Netflix,
do you know how sick that film is? that
Jesus
nobody
Christ.
knows, bro.
Zush,
bro,
tell him,
bro,
tell
do
him.
you know how sick that film is? But nobody knows, bro. Nobody. Are you as Netflix, bro? That could have went back to #1 if you done this right. That could have went back to #1. Like,
And he
bro,
got
I don't know
nominated. He
what's
got
going on.
nominated for something off of
I don't know
off
what's
of that
going on, bro.
Dolomite
And
film.
nobody knows, bro. Nobody knows.
And that was your chance
Nobody
to be
knows.
like, right, well, Eddie, you hit a career low, and then you took some, because he said in the thing, I took some time out. And then you just found this Dolomite, and he's like, oh, I'm going to do this Dolomite thing. And that had everyone that
And they
watched
didn't
it,
say,
it had them in a chokehold how good it was. You lot just showed a
bro.
picture of him doing photos in the outfit, and that's all we got. What is this, H&M? This guy was like, yo, here's the summer line of the 60s. And that's it. And Dolomite was, I might go watch it tonight.
Bro, yeah, I am. I want you to do it.
Bro, nah, that, hey, I need to,
Nah, Netflix, you dropped the ball.
I-
Netflix dropped the ball on this. They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball, man. They dropped the ball. That's this. We just gotta say that off rip, man. You lot dropped the ball on this big time. It was a great doc. Don't get me wrong. What you showed, what you did, it was a great doc. Great documentary. But in terms
Eddie
of what you
deserves
could have
at
done
least
with it and how
7
much
hours,
more there
bro.
was to do with it, yeah, this was bad,
Bro,
man. This was bad.
where was
This
him
was bad.
talking about, do you remember the Prime Video? What the oh my gosh, bro, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, Zush?
Yeah.
What are we doing? How did we not hear from this guy telling us about I was in the
Bro.
Do you remember the Prime Video representing how he is not whitewash? Steven Spielberg said he's not doing it. Had to get John Singleton to do it. I'm with Michael Jackson and Iman. What did I find this? Nothing. They said nothing.
Bro.
God.
Bro. Do you know what annoys me? I'm seeing clips. I'm seeing more clips on TikTok about like things that I didn't even see in the doc, bro. Things that I didn't see in the doc. Like, why wasn't that in the doc? Why didn't that show up in the doc? Nah. You did Eddie Murphy dirty. They did Eddie Murphy dirty.
Like Eddie has nothing good to say about the great James Earl Jones, his father in 2 movies. Huh?
Nah, yeah.
How are we not having a whole episode about Coming to America and the importance of how Coming to America was?
You know what? Yeah. You know, as you're saying this, yeah, I actually saw and am seeing more clips on TikTok that I didn't see in the documentary, and it really has me questioning. Like, I see a clip with his uncle. Like, they didn't speak nothing about his uncle. He didn't say nothing about his uncle and how that kind of got him into it. And like, yeah, this was, yeah.
The thing is, I love the documentary.
I know.
Don't understand how they just, Netflix could have had us in a chokehold for the next 8 weeks. I just don't understand. This and Stranger Things rolling back to back.
Do you think they cut a lot out? Do you think they cut a lot out? Like, maybe they shot a lot of stuff and cut a lot of it out.
Bro,
there has to be a reason, bro.
Whoever was doing the editing on this, you're fired. You're fired.
Yeah,
sorry, this is happening before Christmas, but you're fired. I'm sorry. You're fired. You're fired.
It's crazy.
What?
It's crazy.
Nah, bro. Nah. We're taking. We spent most of the time with the SNL thing, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I can.
All right, let's get straight to it,
Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up, because, bro.
What's your final verdict on this? What's your final verdict, man? What's your final verdict, bro?
You know what? Yeah, I'm just too passionate about this thing, because for me, no disrespect to Dave. I know Dave's the GOAT for a lot of people. Bro, this is my GOAT, bro.
Eddie. Yeah, Eddie's that guy. Guy.
Some of my favorite films, from Beverly Hills Cop to flipping Coming to America to Nutty Professor. Bro, like Boomerang. What are we doing? He introduced
Delirious and Raw together are in my top 5. Like, separately, should I say? Separately are probably in my top 5 stand-ups, bro.
A lot of men that say their comedy GOAT is this person, they probably can't even tell you the name of the comedy stand-up that they like the most. Well, I can just say to you, Delirious and Raw.
Bro.
Who's your ops against them two? Please, let me know.
That's household names right there. Delirious and Raw are household names, bro.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ,
What's
bro.
your final verdict, bro? How
Anyway,
much
with
screens
all
you
that
giving
being
this?
said,
How
yeah,
much screens?
yo, with all that being said, I'm giving this 8 screens, bro. I'm giving this 8 screens because my goat
No,
needed to
cash,
remind.
cash.
He needed his flowers to remind you lot there was him and then everyone
Yeah,
else after
yeah,
him.
yeah.
People are eating off
It
of his
was, it
crumbs, off of
was.
his table. But I'm gonna give it an 8. It would have
To
been a
this
10.
day,
It would have been a 10, but Netflix
I'm,
is
I'm
the
not
best.
gonna lie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was going with a 9. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey,
I was
yo,
going with a 9.
I'm not mad at that, bro. I'm not mad at it. It's
I'm
just this
going
would
with
have
a
been
9.
our
I'm
first
going with
10, but they dropped.
Yeah, this would have been a 10. This would have been a 10, but I'm going with a 9. And I'm
No
going with a
problem.
9 because that last scene, you see that outtakes?
Oh,
Yo,
yeah.
I was like, yo, this
As post-credit
I'm glad
scenes
they
go,
kept
that was pretty good. You know what
I'm
I'm
glad they
saying?
kept that, bro. I'm
Bro,
glad they kept that. And just on a few things you just got to learn about Eddie. Um yeah, it was just a reminder of like he is that guy. And I know I've been defending him for a long time, and I knew I was right when people still be shitting on his films. And I'm still like, bruh, it's Eddie though. You get me? It's like there's just some people in life that just, you get me, just get God status. You get me? They just get that. They just get to, you get me, waver through life because of what they've done and the accolades they had. And Eddie, to me, is one of those guys, bro. Like he can do no wrong even when he does wrong. You get me? So,
there's a
like,
lot of
this was
people
just a
I would
reminder.
spud. If I see them in real life, I'd spud them up. I don't take pictures of quite a few people. I'll spud them up. Boom, 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 boom. I got a picture of Jay-Z because that's my goat. If I see Eddie Murphy, I'd be like, Mr. Murphy, or if you're going by your real name, but we won't do that, Eddie. But Mr. Murphy, can I just say to you, man, listen, you've had a big impact on my. You see, you and Stan Lee, you lot are like my unofficial relatives. You lot have had an impact on my life. Thank you,
Bro,
man.
Ev.
I appreciate you, and I'll keep moving. If I, yo, Eddie, what man could get the one? Yo, this would really help the street credit. If I, you say, yeah, all right, cool. But nah, bro. Oh, but hey, let's Zush, take it
Alright,
home, bro,
hey,
because this
hey.
thing is, hey,
Hear what I'm saying? This was a top tier documentary. Like, you need to run to the screens to this. Like,
yes.
forget what we just said in the last 15
I
minutes.
was saying that
Go
already.
and watch it. Go and watch it and form your own opinion, which I
Yeah,
guarantee you will be a great one. This is one of the best docs I've seen, kinda. It's just they could have done more. But no, it's one of the best docs about like an icon. You get me? Like the things that it reminds you of, the things that they brought to light. Like Eddie was that guy. If you're a big fan, you'll love this. Run to the screens to it. Yeah, man, and that's that really. That's that. Sometimes, you know, the passion takes over and we just gotta be real. We just gotta be real. That's what we're here for. We're here to have some real discussions about TV, film, and what we see on the screens, and that's what we do. On that note, it's been a good episode. We'll be back. You know, once Drizzy, you know, picks up, yeah,
cool.
me. Once he gets his blood pressure back down to the levels it needs to be. But I understand, man. If you understand, you know, like, you hear me? But people, until next time, you hear me? We'll be back. Drizzy will be better. And we'll be okay. We're gonna be alright, man. We gonna be alright. You hear me? People, until next time, man. We go by the name of the Screen Runners. You already know what time it is.